Okay, this is just a view from the front of the house, just to kind of give you a general idea. We got here, it was pretty close to ready for, for us for the most part. There were some things that were not finished yet, but overall I was able to check the things that we really needed to check. Pavers don't look bad. All right, I know that was a concern of yours. I remember reading that on some notes that we had. They don't look bad to me. They're still working on this stuff, so keep in mind the finished product isn't exactly what you're seeing right at this moment. But I was here more or less for the important things, so I want to make sure that you got a grip on, what those things are, so that you know what you're looking at. The building is constructed obviously of concrete block masonry with stucco wall covering and veneer covering here in the front. The windows are double pane single hung windows. We opened each and every one of them. I mean, some of them are squeaky. That's more of a cosmetic type of a thing where they're going to work on getting those the noise levels down, but they function fine. I checked flashing in the roof tiles. You've got concrete roof tiles up here, and they look to be pretty good. When I went up there, they were still servicing them. They were just putting the finishing touches on things. But overall, in the big picture, it looks pretty good. And at the front of the property, specifically at the southwest corner, is where the water comes in. They do a really good job here of putting your main valve on the inside of the building. A lot of builders put them on the outside of the building. Your main valve's on the west side of the garage, right here by the garage door. Okay, it's PVC in, and the distribution material is PEX, or polyethylene. And we checked out underneath all the sinks and the bathrooms, ran water and everything. Water heater, the only problem I have with this is that it's not heating the water. So that'll be in your inspection report. That water that's wet there, that's not leaking from the tank. They did clean while we were here, so there's still a lot of water, just kind of, a couple puddles here and there that's still drying from when they cleaned. One suggestion I have for you is along the sides of the house. I know that they do this very often. You see your neighbor's house there and you look at your house here, is the wood chips. I would advise you to consider maybe going with something like lava rock or something a little more friendly. Wood chips tend to float away. They keep the area wet longer than it should be. Just food for thought. There's no requirement that says you have to change something like that. It's just from experience. I can tell you that sometimes that's not the best ground covering. A recommendation I would have for you here is putting gutters on the building. One of your concerns was that water would get in through the foundation areas, and sometimes if you're not controlling the water from the roof and you have a lot of high volume rain, that's something that can happen. So we want you to just be aware of that. In the plumbing section, you're going to see a repair saying to install backflow preventers. The hose bibs don't have the backflow preventers on. There's two hose bibs outside, one here at the southwest corner and the other one at the northeast corner, and those aren't installed yet. On the side of the building, this is your service disconnect location. Okay, west side of the building. Your service amperage is 150. Okay, this other breaker in the main panel is simply for this outlet here. This is a GFI outlet. We tested it. You can see your main ground going down to earth here. Okay, I opened this up. You'll see photographs of that in your inspection report, and things checked out just fine there. Also, the air condition, we took a look at this. We made sure that you had your service disconnect in place. Okay, it pull out is right there. That's what needs to be there. We made sure that the unit was L bracketed down, and it is, so that it can't be moved. It's nice and sturdy. Okay, the unit is a 3.5 ton Lennox. It was manufactured this year. All right, 14 SEER unit. You can see as your AC lines there, suction line, refrigerant line, and there, right there, that brown pipe is your condensation line. Okay, so moving right along, the only thing we'll recommend with this is that the AC unit is slightly off level, but it's ever so slight. So you would want to just make sure that you are aware of that. If that's something that concerns you, you can bring it to the attention of your super. All right. Pest control stuff, I don't really inspect that, but this system here, just to let you know, Home Team, this is a very common system. It's probably in every house in this community, and it's in a number of houses in in the area, and it's a preference thing. If you like to use that system, learn about it, get informed about it, and see if it's a system that you would choose to work with. If not, there's plenty of other techniques and systems in place for pest control that you have to choose from. This vent sticking out the side of the wall is actually the vent for the microwave oven exhaust fan. That is not connected yet. That's one item they didn't finish. So just so you know, that would be something that you would want to make sure they completed. I know that they're working on it because they have the parts there. They just haven't done it yet. I did check the microwave when I was in the house, and it does work. So we're looking at a functional appliance. It's just they have to hook up the vent. Here at the back, I know you were concerned about water getting in, but from the photos you sent me, it looked like they hadn't yet painted. And one of the things that does happen is because concrete is porous, if it had rained, it's possible that the water got into the concrete before the concrete was sealed. The only concern I have here in this location is if you put gutters back here, you can control the water, but here's a roof valley, and there's going to be a lot of water that's going to come down here over time, and it's going to land right in this flower bed where all those wood chips are. So it won't be very long before you start to see some erosion occur there. So you're going to want to find a way to control water back here. That would be very important. I would consider that maybe a priority, something you would want to do. Now, I don't know that the builder would do it for you, or they even consider it important themselves, but from a home inspector's perspective, most of the problems that we encounter along a building, particularly when it draws insects, is water. It draws insects, and it could potentially penetrate at foundation areas. Now, they're still working on cosmetics, and you can see that they have to caulk here the back of the window. You see the blue tape there. They're aware of it. There's the seam up there they need to caulk. So there's still some touch-ups to be done here. Like we mentioned earlier, you can see they've marked different areas, which is important to know that your builder is on it. And there's another cosmetic area right there. My report doesn't cover cosmetics, but your superintendent and their crew, that's what they do. They're going to mark all those, and they've already marked a number of them inside. This home is not ready yet, and that's why they've got their punch list still basically being made. There was a quality control guy here today actually that went through the house while I was doing the inspection, so I know that they're on it. In fact, we compared notes to make sure that we all had seen some of the same things, to make sure that they saw what I saw and so on. So we didn't want to walk away if we had some information we thought they should have. That's the other hose bib here without the backflow preventer. And as I walked around the building, I mean, it's all pretty much the same. It's not a problem or anything like that. What it is more or less is that there are just different ways to manage an exterior, and some of the suggestions that I have with lava rocks instead of wood chips, that's just an example of one other way to manage the exterior. That white cap you see sticking out of the ground, that is your sewer clean out, and that's a place that you can have a plumber access if the plumbing backs up in the house. Now, I ran a lot of water while I was here, and nothing backed up, so it seems to me like your sewer line is free and clear. So that shouldn't be an issue, but if you have a problem at some point, that is where it's located. We happen to be on the east side of the house at this time. All right, and as we come around the front and just finish our final lap, just give you an idea of what you're looking at. Now, heading into the garage area, you're going to see that the garage door arms are not yet connected. I've made them aware of that. They're aware of that. It's just not ready yet. Both of these arms need to be connected to the garage door. I did test the openers and the doors, and the openers and the doors are functional. They just haven't been connected to one another. Okay, and again, like I said, you can see that they have different marks here, different tape to illustrate some of the areas where they have to deal with their cosmetics, and you can see that those are marked. So when you do your walkthrough, that's what you're looking for, the blue and green tape, so that you know what's going on. Okay, this is the sub panel, and the report you're going to see we did remove the cover. It seems to be okay. Everything's in good condition. There's no real outstanding concerns with it. As far as GFCI protection, that's what this little guy is right here. Okay, that's ground fault receptacle. This is connected to your garage door openers and your outside receptacles. So it's also connected to the garage receptacles on the left and right sides, or the east and west sides of the garage. All right, so that's what you're looking at there. And moving inside the house, we took a look at your air handler. We don't really have any major problems with that. have it running right now in emergency heat. That was the last feature that we were going to test. And how I know that works is I basically take my infrared thermometer and point it up at the vents, and we know that we're getting emergency heat. Now, the emergency heat is going to be slightly less always than the heat pump heat will be. So just, you'll see the measurements on the infrared thermometer in the inspection report. So that should be something that you can take a look at when you receive the report. That should be sometime, with a little luck, sometime this evening. All right. Walking through the house, you can see all the blue tape they got. They got a lot of things that they're going to be looking at and working on, okay, on the cosmetic standpoint. But as far as I'm concerned, we went through the house, the interior, and checked what we thought was important to make sure that things were working. We still have the dishwasher running right now. Okay, that's on at this time. Okay, we did check all the appliances while we were here. Washing machine is on right now. Okay. This guy's bouncing around a little bit, so we're going to recommend that getting that balanced out. You see that? It's moving. One other recommendation we would have too is, although it may not be required, sometimes washing machines can leak, and if it does leak, you may want to install a water pan underneath the washing machine. That would be an example of a recommendation or an upgrade. Right, and the other areas that we had taken a look at, we want to show you here in the master bathroom. Okay, we found about 9 tiles or so at the shower floor that need to be reworked. They need to be reworked because what happens is when you run water, they're a different height. And if you look to my left side here, the drain, this area here, water doesn't fully drain. It'll sit right here. So I brought that to the attention. You see the lip right there? Brought that to the attention of the superintendent. They're going to have somebody on that as quickly as tomorrow. Another thing that we have in the master bathroom is a loose toilet. They are aware of that. The toilet's not anchored properly. You can see it's loose. All right. So there's a lot of little things that they have cosmetically that they need to take care of. The important stuff seems to check out. Air conditioning and heat seem to be working just fine. They seem to be installed just fine. The water heater is not functional. That's going to be one of these things that you'll get replaced. They'll probably change out the elements for you and get that going. Air handler unit, you can see that's right over here. And that seems fine. Filter replacement is located in the dining room area, so you can see where you can change your filter. All right, overall it checked out really well. You can look for my report tonight. I know you had a list of concerns. One of the concerns you also had is about the water coming in the back, and I mentioned it earlier in this video just to finalize that. These areas were tested with a moisture meter while I was here. There is nothing wet now, and the only thing that I would caution you against, or at least recommend you pay attention to, is with the wood chips there and no gutters at the building. Those are the types of things that could allow water to penetrate at the foundation. So I would focus on that. That's an improvement, just a recommendation from me to you. All right, other stuff, cosmetics. That's something you do on your walkthrough. So when you do come through for your walkthrough, everyone will be here. You guys will be going over things. Bring some blue tape yourself, because if there's something on your walkthrough that you see, you should mark it so that you bring it to the attention of the superintendent. All right. So hopefully this home inspection was helpful. Hopefully this video was helpful, and thank you very much for your business, your trust, and working with us. Thank you.